right now I'm on my way to the shipper out here in Abbotsford. And my appointment is for like 2 o'clock. So I'm about a half an hour early, so they may be able to take me early, I don't know. I've been to this place before, and they're usually pretty good here. Or over there, rather. Weather is going to be beautiful today. I love this kind of weather. This is the kind of weather in December I love. It's very, very nice. Very sunny. It's 11 degrees out here. Probably the same thing right across the province, right into Alberta. I'm absolutely looking forward to another nice drive. Because I'm starting so late, I probably will get as far as maybe I'll get as far as Revelstoke. That'll be it for tonight. Or Craigellachie is a rest area there I really like. We'll see what happens. Yeah, that looks good. I have been driving truck for semi-truck for 5 years, a little over 5 years. This is my 4th company in 5 years. It's not like I like to jump around, but I had some issues with the other companies. Either you weren't getting the right amount of hours, miles. One situation with one other company, the equipment was always falling apart and I was always afraid to drive over a scale. One time I did go over a scale in Calgary and I was put out of service because one of the brake pods something was wrong with them. It kept, even though it was adjusted, as soon as you put your foot on the brake, it would mess up again. And I ended up paying a $230 fine for that, and the company never covered it. And the company just had bad equipment. It was always like that. I remember one time driving, backing into a loading dock, and the guy pulls onto the truck with the forklift, and the wheel went right through the floor. And so I left that company. I think I lasted 3, 4, maybe 5 months, 6 months, something like that. What have I learned in 5 years? I've learned a lot. I have a lot more respect for the truck drivers out there on the road too. It's a lot of work. It can be a lot of work. You're sitting behind the wheel for like 12, 13 hours a day. And up here in Canada, you can drive 13 hours. And your day shift is 16 hours. So once you get rolling, your clock starts. And everything is on e-logs now. Everything is going to be on e-logs with all the companies, but I've been dealing with e-logs now for the last, I don't know, 4 years, so I'm used to them. And I actually, as a matter of fact, I really like them because when it's time to quit, it's time to shut down, nobody can tell you, hey, you got to keep going because we need this load here. You shut down because it's the law. If I was to choose another career, it would probably, I can't think of anything else that I would like to do. I'd like to drive truck maybe in the city and work for BC Ferries, be a shunt driver. I wouldn't mind doing that. Whatever I'm doing, it's going to be behind the wheel of a truck, whether it's a city truck, whether it's a highway truck. I love the highway driving, but there may be some issues with that later on because I'm engaged now, and there will be a wedding soon in next year, and there's times where you just know it's time to come off the highway because you have, you know, a wife now, a family, and so I'll probably find some. Maybe I'll get a job driving BC Transit or something. I don't know, but whatever it is, it'll be behind the wheel of a truck or a bus or whatnot. We'll have to wait and see. Well, this is the new Box Canyon chain-up area up here. The other one that they had before, I think you could fit maybe 20 trucks in if you were lucky and squeeze them all right in. This one here, I think it'll hold up to 150 trucks. That's what they say, 150. Nice big wide open area over here on the right. They're going to build a fully functional bathroom there. So look at the size of this thing. It's huge. Really, really big. You can fit a lot of trucks in here. Out here. Another thing I like to check, make sure the license plate is there. I picked up trailers and company yards, no license plate, and I had to make one. Well, because as long as you got the insurance papers, I think as an emergency, you can probably make yourself a license plate. Never got in trouble for it. I'm gonna leave my jacket on because I gotta get fuel anyway. A little chilly out here. I don't know what the temperature is. Sycamoose temperature -1. Yeah, it's a little chilly here. I'm used to chilly weather. Being out in Edmonton, spending time in Edmonton and Calgary, but when you just spent like 3 days out in Vancouver, where the coldest it got was maybe 3. Yeah, so I'm gonna stop here in Sycamoose for the night, and I'll reconvene in the morning. was just thinking about the weekend that I had with my girl Wendy. Something very, very special happened on Saturday. We had a lot of activities to do, a lot of things to do, and I just been with that girl for a year, and she has been with me through the toughest time of my life during the loss of my daughter, and she was a rock. I don't know too many women that would have been there the way she was. And I made a decision. I want this girl in my life for the rest of my life. So the Friday before, the Saturday, I went and bought a ring. And we went to a very special place that was all lit up with lights. And took her up at a gazebo, and I proposed to her. And I'm glad she said yes. She didn't even hesitate, not one bit at all.
You guys had no idea, did you?
No.
She was giving me crap for bringing the camera with me, and this is why I wanted to. See, I got
Let's see. Ooh, that's very cool. Yeah.
One seems to hear words of good cheer from everywhere, filling the air. 400 pounds, raising the sound, Lord, and it is drowning the tin. While people sing songs of good cheer, Christmas is here. Ding dong, that is their song, with joyful ring, all carol along. Ding dong, they said, gone without it. Ding, joyful song, ding, every home, dong, carol along.
I had to adjust my axles to make it legal to drive in BC because this load came all the way from Ontario. So whenever you have to do that, it's always good to reweigh yourself because you don't know if you're too heavy on. You don't really know if you're too heavy or not. Where's that other one? Can't tell. Okay. Gotta check the weights. They could be out. They could be out because I had to move them, and I don't take any chances. This is one area right here, which is one of my favorite places to drive through. I can see the lake over here is almost frozen over, or it is frozen over. Right in this area here where I make my way into Canmore, it is such a beautiful sight. All these mountains, these are the Rocky Mountains. This is what I get to look at every day. This is what I get to see every single day. And you know what? I have driven back and forth here, I can't tell you how many times. Every second day I'm looking at these mountains for the last 5 years. Minus the time I spent driving in the US last year, or at the beginning of this year. But I never get tired of it. You never get tired of this view. You never get tired of it. Because when the snow ends up on the mountains, they look different. As more snow accumulates, it changes the look of it. As the snow melts, it does the exact same thing. So it's not like you're looking at the identical same picture all the time. It always looks different. And it's a beautiful view. I never get tired of it. I never get tired of it. And fortunately, we're in December right now. Look at this weather we're having here. I mean, it's just beautiful temperatures. Yes, it's -1 right now, but it's not snowing. The sun is out, and it's been like this for 2 weeks. This is the kind of December weather I love in Alberta. Who wouldn't? Who wouldn't? Well, this is Kicking Horse Canyon, just east of Golden, and this is probably the most treacherous part of the Highway 1 that I know of anyway on the West Coast. In the wintertime, it's really scary going through here. I remember the very first time I came through here, my very first training run I came through here, I was really nervous. Not because of the sharp turns and everything. I always had a little bit of a fear of heights, and I got over that in a hurry. But just down below here, I think it's like I don't know how many feet drop it is down there. It's quite far down. Could be 1,000-foot drop there, maybe more. I don't know. I think it's quite a bit more actually. Can't remember offhand. But if you look down at the bottom of the ravine, you can actually see the train tracks. They look like a little toy. That's how far down it is. So I would guess it's probably 1,500-foot drop or something down there, just off this edge right here. As you can see right over there, 1,500 feet down into the ravine. So you certainly don't want to be making a mistake taking these corners too sharp, even in the summertime. They call this the snake pit. Snake pit in Kicking Horse Canyon. And a lot of the time you'll drive through here and you'll see guys cut right over the middle. And a lot of the time I try to get as close as I can to the side, but there's only so much room we have here. There's nowhere else to go. Go any further and you're in the ditch. And that's never a fun thing, because now you gotta get a tow truck to pull you out. And because it's so narrow in here, now the road's shut down and you're holding everybody up. So it's always best is to try to drive through here slow and be very cautious of the other vehicle coming the other way. I've seen a couple accidents in here. And they weren't pretty. Well, my next load won't be ready until tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Well, I had an option to get another load, but it was going to be dispatched at 8:30 p.m. and when I get dispatched out that late, I can't drive very long. I drive 3 hours and I'm falling asleep. That's what happens when I have to sit around all day long. So I'd rather decline a load that's late and take a load that's early. So tomorrow morning, I'm heading over to one of our shippers over here, not too far from here, and I'm going to be loading up and then heading to Calgary. But in the meantime, I figured I would go visit Wendy. She just had her surgery yesterday. She was in for surgery, and I'm gonna go check on her and see if she needs anything and spend a little bit of time with her. If she needs anything, I want to be there for her. Okay, I did tell her I was gonna come by, so could you please do me a favor and let me know when she's awake so I don't disturb her. I'm probably just gonna go get my car washed and I'll come over after that. this car. It really can fly, this thing. Everybody needs to have a little bit of a toy, and this is my toy right here, my Mustang. I bought it brand new off the lot this year, and I tell you something, it's got a stage 2 Roush kit in it. It's been chipped. This car's got some horsepower. This car can fly. I have 3 passions in my life. My main passion is my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. My second passion is my lovely girl Wendy. This is my third right here, my Mustang. And the only negative thing about having this car is everyone wants to challenge you. Everyone. But a lot of the time I give them a run for their money, because this car can fly and it sounds sweet. And it's really cute too, because every single time I drive by some young kids or whatever, the little boys are sitting there pointing like, oh, look at that car. One of these days I'm going to step on this thing. I've never really opened it up to see what this thing can do, but it can fly. I love this car. And it's a manual transmission too. There's no way I would have an automatic with a car like this. No way. You know, it's funny, we come around the corner and we don't see any vehicles, and all of a sudden there's like 10 cars in here. I bet you anything they think the other chili is another order.
Yeah.
Toast it and butter it? Okay.
On my resets, I like to take that opportunity to spend time with my girl Wendy, and usually we go out with our girls, and if I have a chance to see my kids out in Abbotsford, I do. But there's one thing that I do miss when I'm on my resets, and I do miss talking to my good friends, my friend Barry, and we always talk every single day. We're always yakking about something. And of course, my other 2 friends, Jana and Matthew, they drive in the U.S. and they also, I guess, make trips up to Quebec. And I like to talk to Matthew. I think we probably talk maybe every second day or so, because sometimes he's driving in the middle of the night and I'm driving during the day, so we don't have much of a chance to talk every day. But I think if we did, if we had that chance, we probably would. So it's good to have good friends out on the highway, and I do miss them on my resets. You get used to talking to them every day almost, and when you're on your reset, like now, sometimes I feel like just giving them a call and see what they're doing.
Well, I'm just leaving Delta right now, and on my way to Calgary. Loading up at one of my favorite places that get you out, they get you loaded and out of there so fast. So it was a good thing. Good morning. So I'm on my way to Calgary, and I was looking at some of the highway cams, and looks like Three Valley Gap and Albert Canyon, Rogers Pass, Kicking Horse Canyon, all those areas got hit hard last night with snow. And the strange thing is, I never seen any of that in the forecast. I didn't see that coming. So, But Rogers Pass looks like it's not snowing at all up there. I don't think it's snowing anymore. I think it hit last night. So I'm hoping by the time we get there, a lot of those roads will be wet. So, not sure. Maybe in for a real fun ride today. I'm totally maxed out on my truck and trailer. I'm 16, almost maxed out, 16.5 or 16.6 on my trailer, or on my drives on my truck, and 22.5 on my Tridem on my trailer. So I'm almost totally maxed out. So I got a lot of traction, that's for sure, but I'm going to be heading up there slow again. Super, super slow. It's very rare that I ever have a light load. Starting to get into the snow now. Yeah, they're expecting a really bad snowfall, or should I say a very heavy snowfall, starting tonight, and it's supposed to follow through probably until Monday. It says anyway, but that always can change. Man, when I'm climbing the hill...
Is it wet all the way into the beach?
You bet it is.
Oh, I'm glad I'm pulling the van today then.
What's it look like going the other way towards Kamloops there? Is it pretty good or what?
Oh yeah, as soon as you get past Mine Creek there, it's pretty much good all the way.
Good to hear, thank you. Yeah, when you're climbing this hill like this, you're always worried, am I gonna blow a hose? Is my belt gonna break? Is my truck gonna overheat? It's always very, very stressful. Very stressful. Climbing this hill when you're this heavy. Because you don't have much of an option to pull over when you're stopped dead. What are you gonna do? I guess I could back down and get off the road. I probably would do something like that, move over to the side of the road. But we're almost on the top. The snow is starting to stick too, so I'm guessing this is going to be a real mess probably in about an hour. They might even have the chain up lights on. But I'm not going to complain. I haven't seen a whole lot of snow for 2 weeks, so this doesn't bother me one bit. Don't you dare overheat on me, baby. Just get me up this hill. Hey Barry, how you doing?
Good, buddy. How are you?
Not too bad. Where are you right now?
I am currently on the Trans-Canada Highway, highway number 1, heading eastbound towards Calgary. About 5 minutes outside of 6th Street.
Well, I hope you're on the Highway 1. If you're not, you're lost.
Well, that wouldn't take much for me to get lost.
How's the weather over there?
Currently, right now, there's actually quite a bit of snow down on the ground. There's a lot of snow with the trees. How about your way?
It's bare. I'm in between Salmon Arm and Sorrento on the 4-laner, and Yeah, there's no snow around here at all. It's actually, there's some flurries coming down, but nothing to be concerned about, that's for sure.
Oh, okay. No, currently where I'm at, it's actually a very nice winter wonderland. It's been like a month down the trail.
Yeah, I looked at the cams. It looks pretty good up on Rogers Pass. I guess earlier today it looked like a whiteout up there, but now I looked at it when I stopped for fuel, and it looks like it's just brown in some areas, wet. So it looks like we're okay to go through.
Oh, that's pretty good. I currently have 6 hours and 45 minutes left on my e-log. Right now it's 3:30 Alberta time. We're hoping to make it into Calgary sometime between 9:30 and 10 o'clock tonight.
Oh, okay. Well, why don't we touch base later on when you get settled in?
Sounds good. We'll talk to you later. Drive safe, my friend. God bless.
Yeah, all right. You too. God bless.
Bye-bye.
Barry is a good friend of mine. We probably chat almost every day unless we're on a reset. He drives for Transex, and he's now driving. Before he was just driving strictly for another company up north, but now he's with Transex and he's driving the same highway, BC Alberta. So we touch base every day pretty well, let each other know what the weather's going to be like and what the roads are like where we're at. He's a good friend. He's a really, really good friend. And it's nice to have good friends out here to talk to, because it can get lonely out here sometimes. And there's times where you're tired, and getting on the phone and yakking for a few hours with a buddy does keep you awake, especially if you're tired. But I enjoy our conversations. We always have a good time. We always have a good laugh. We're going to have to slow right down because the roads have gotten a little bit icy out of Revelstoke. Man, I only have an hour to play with too. I don't know how far this goes. You can feel it's icy on the ground. It's only 1 degree, but still there's compact ice down there. It doesn't matter anyway. I mean, I can only do 60 kilometers an hour because I'm so heavy all the time. I bet you I'll make it to Calgary with 10 minutes to spare. 10 minutes to spare. I hope. I hope. Well, I'm stuck behind another driver that's terrified. I'm doing half the speed limit I can be doing, could be doing. The roads are good. They're wet. Yeah, a little bit of white stuff, but there's lots of sand, and I may not make it to Calgary. Not when I can't do the speed limit I need to. And the guy does not want to pull over and let me go by him, so there's a very good possibility I won't make it to my destination tonight. It's due to people that should not be on this road. They shouldn't be out here if they're this afraid. They shouldn't be out here. how does anyone expect us to do this job? Oh my gosh. Can't believe this. He had an opportunity to pull over right here and he won't do it. He won't let me get by him. Oh, now he's actually doing it. Unreal. Just because I said that, huh? Okay, well, at least he's letting me through. Thank you. It's really not all that bad out here. Looks a lot worse than it is. 0 degrees right now. And you can always tell how icy it is by watching if there's spray coming off your tires. You're fine. Yeah, you could run into a patch of black ice, but I'm not saying do 500 miles an hour. But if spray is coming off your tires, you're okay. Pros and cons of this industry. I would say I'll start with the cons. Dealing with traffic, construction, drivers that are impatient out there, the four-wheelers that are impatient. They have to realize that sometimes our trucks are governed. We can only go so fast when we're climbing up a hill, and a lot of people get impatient. They flash the high beams and they get mad. They think we're deliberately holding them up, or we're not. We're pulling a lot of weight, and 54,000 pounds of weight we're pulling, and we're governed. We can only go so fast. So it would be nice if the four-wheelers were a little bit more patient with us. They got to understand that we're doing the very best we can, and that they just have to be more patient with us. Yeah, the road construction. What else would be? The weather. Sometimes the weather conditions can be really nasty, even when it's really, really hot. You're out there driving to Nevada and your air conditioner's not working. That happened to me this year, and I had a spray bottle spraying my face constantly, just trying to keep cool because I had no air conditioning. It was really, really, really ridiculous. And in the summertime, you end up with all these bugs all over your windshield. Half the time you can't see anything. And in the wintertime, it's not just the bugs on your windshield, because, or should I say, there's no bugs on your windshield in the wintertime, but it's all dirt, mud, salt, and it's just a challenge no matter what time of the year it is when you're out here. And there's a lot of waiting around when you especially are driving in California. If you're driving anywhere and you have to go load or unload, there's a lot of waiting. So if you're one of these type of people that really enjoy getting up and moving on as fast as you can, well, you may want to think twice about this, because there is going to be a lot of waiting. Some companies are pin to pin, that's really nice, but other companies where you're doing reefer loads, refrigerated units, a lot of the time they're live loads and live unloads, and there's a lot of waiting. I remember one time I was in California and I had to do a pickup at 3 places. It took me 2.5 days to get out of there, and I think I got paid maybe 50 miles in 3 days because all the places were close by. Another con I would say would be if you have family. Being away from home, it can be a bit hard on a relationship. I know there's a lot of marriages that split up because of being away from your spouse. Whether you're a female or a male truck driver, it's hard on the family. Unless you have a really understanding spouse, it can be tough, because sometimes you can be out on the road from anywhere from 7 days to 10 days or longer at a time. And if you have an understanding husband or wife, then I guess you're okay. In some cases, if you don't have children, a lot of the time the husband and the wives, they'll go with each other, or sometimes they'll even team. So I guess it all depends on the relationship. But I'd say in a nutshell, that's kind of the cons that I would say are the major cons anyway, of being in this industry. I would say the pros of this industry is, for one thing, the view. If you love to travel, and you love the wildlife, and you love nature, a view like this of these beautiful mountains, the fresh air, interacting with other people, meeting new people all the time. It's a sense of freedom, independence. If you like that, this job is definitely for you. Because you'll get a load, and say if you're going to California, you'll get a load, say from Calgary to California. You're looking at 2.5, 3 days to go there. They give you the load. You head down there. You don't have anybody bothering you. Total independence. Stop at the truck stops you want. There's no micromanaging involved. Some companies may do that, but a lot of them just give you the load, tell them when you're going to be there, and they say okay, and they're on their way, or you're on your way rather. So the independence and the freedom is a huge pro. The money is good too. If you can keep busy, if you can keep the wheels moving, the money is good, especially if you're a single person. If you're a single person, you can really afford to put money away. It's a very good way of saving money, especially if you're living out of your truck. Like I live out of my truck, and I mean, I could rent a place for $500, $600, $700 a month, but that to me, that's throwing the money away, because I would only be sleeping in my bed 4 days out of the entire month. So to me, it doesn't make any sense to do that. So living out of my truck is pretty well the right option to do, especially if you're single. Why not? Some people may not want to be away from that. Some people may just want to do their 2-rounders in and go home. That's fine too. So you get to interact with a lot of different people. You get really nice, beautiful scenery. You do make some reasonably good money. There was another one that was a real highlight. And if you love nature and wildlife, and I love looking at bears walking down the road, and just the fresh air is nice. The weather can be good. Like it's sunshine when you're driving down the coast. It's beautiful. And I love driving in the wintertime, especially when it's like this in December, where you don't see a whole lot of snow, but it's up there on the mountains. It's a beautiful view. Or you do run into the snow conditions. But to me, it's a romantic time of the year. It really is, because if you can't go any further, that's another pro. If you can't go any further because of these e-logs, because of the regulations, and even with regular logs, but now it's enforced with these, that if you can't go any further, you run out of hours, you just pull over and go to bed. No one is going to make you go anywhere. No one's going to force you to do anything. So it is a really nice sense of freedom being out here. And another thing that's very important, a huge pro, once you get your CDL or your Class 1 license, you'll never have to look for another job again. This industry is in such high demand, you will never have to find another job again. I've been driving for 5 years, and I've never had an issue finding a job. Never. So that's pretty well my pros in a nutshell. And I really enjoy it, and I enjoy driving. I really do enjoy driving. But the big thing is the independence, the freedom of being out here and not being hounded or told what to do, or sitting at a desk all day. And yes, I do sit most of the day, but I also get out and walk around and do as much exercising as I can by walking around. And so I've been doing it for 5 years, so I must enjoy it. Hey Barry, how you doing?
Good, Ray. How are you?
Not too bad. What you up to?
I'm currently sitting here in the Transex yard doing a 36-hour reset. How about yourself?
Oh, you're on a reset now.
You bet. I'm heading out tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock.
Oh, okay. Oh, so I guess the roads are good. You're not moving.
Oh, the roads are beautiful, but unfortunately we can't move until the E-log says so.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the roads are pretty good here. I'm almost at 10 mile brake check here, and the roads are nice.
Sounds good, sounds good. No, I'm going to be heading out of here at 10 a.m. and hopefully the roads will be favorable when I go to drive to Vancouver.
Yeah, well, when I get back to Delta, I'm doing a quick reset, and I'll be heading back out, so,
Maybe we'll touch base on, I don't know, Tuesday or something, Monday or Tuesday?
Yeah, sounds good, my friend. We'll touch base then.
yeah, okay, God bless. We'll talk to you soon.
You as well. Talk to you later.
Hey, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
My experiences driving this highway, been some good experiences and some not so good experiences. Sometimes you come up here because this is like right on the summits between Merritt and Kamloops, the Surrey summit. I'm not sure what the elevation is. It's high enough though. It's top of the summit. And sometimes here, and of course the Coquihalla summit, where the Zopkios brake check is, they call it the Smasher, down the hill that goes down the Smasher. I've seen some pretty crazy accidents up here, and because the road is a bit of a straightaway in a lot of spots, people take for granted that it's still slippery, no matter if it's straight or not. And a lot of the time, I'll come up here a day after it's been snowing, and there's just a graveyard of trucks in the ditches, four-wheelers in the ditches, and even with just a little bit of snow that's on the ground right now, it can be slippery. It can be very, very slippery. And you just got to be careful, you really do. And in the summertime, it's actually a nice drive because the speed limit's 120. 120 kilometers but our trucks never go that fast. But it's still a nice stretch of highway. The old way was Highway 1, which would go through the Fraser Canyon. That tacks on about another hour, 45 minutes to an hour. If you're light and you're heading in this direction, you're doing well. If you're heavy, like ridiculously heavy, like I am most of the time, I don't know if you're really saving a whole lot of time going over here because you got to climb over these hills, these summits, and it's very, very, very tedious, to say the least. But I respect this road. I do. I respect the Coquihalla Highway. If you respect it, normally you can get home in one piece. If you don't respect it and take it for granted and not pay attention to the hills and make sure you have your Jake on at the right times, yeah, you're looking for trouble. And I've seen a lot of truck fires, trailer fires on this highway because people ride their brakes down the hills, or they just don't know about the hills, or they don't know how steep they are. They're not familiar with it. If you're going to drive this stretch of highway, look up online and get to know the highway. Find out where the grades are, because educate yourself, because it's important. I'm used to this highway now. I've been driving it for 5 years. But you get a new guy coming over from Ontario, he's never driven on this highway. A lot of the time they get themselves in trouble. Oh, what a long day. Long day today. Feels like even a longer day when you have to pull a trailer that's fully, it's a Tridem, fully loaded Tridem up all those hills. It feels like you're pulling a house. It just drains everything out of you. And because you're going so slow, all I've eaten today is a cookie. I got a Tim Hortons with my coffee. That's all I've eaten today. I could not afford to stop. I got here with 14 minutes to spare. And it's all because of these heavy loads. Could not afford to stop. If I would have stopped for something to eat, I would have been out of hours. I would have never made it here. I'm tired and I'm going to bed. Taking a trailer to Abbotsford probably about 2 o'clock, pick up some dairy products. So I got to do a pre-trip on the reefer to make sure the reefer isn't going to shut down or die on me on the way there. Sometimes these things have issues with them and people don't do a pre-trip, and then you go to the shipper and you turn it on, it doesn't work. You're like, uh-oh, big problem. Yeah, so you put it in pre-trip mode, and what it does is it runs through all the sensors, it turns on the heat, it turns on the cooling, it goes through the entire thing to make sure that that thing is going to work, that it turns on, that there's no issues. Technology nowadays is so amazing. As a matter of fact, if I have this set to a wrong temperature, back at the terminal, they can adjust it while I'm driving. This is in the wrong spot. It needs to be right in the middle, right in between these two. So I gotta slide my axles. Going to check all my lights, my four-ways, my marker lights, my headlights, and my brake lights. And if you're wondering how I check my brake lights, I'll just take a bungee cord and put it on my spike, and that's connected way down here. And I put the bungee cord on the spike, and that'll light up my brake lights. And my four-ways are working, my brake lights are working. It's a good thing. Another thing you need to check, make sure that license plate light is working as well. The transportation department, no matter what jurisdiction you're in, will check all of that. Yeah, some guys have huge big TVs in their truck, massive sound systems and everything, but I'm actually quite happy with what I have. I just have my my MacBook, and I have one of my favorite series. It's called Newhart. I've loved that series ever since when it came out in the 80s, and it's really, really funny. I got the whole collection on my laptop, so I probably watched every episode about 50 times, but I still enjoy it.
What's all the fuss?
There is no fuss.
What are you talking about?
I'm trying to plan a dinner party tomorrow night, and everybody's taking it wrong.
Well, why are you planning a dinner party?
Because you won't be here.
And yeah, I just have my microwave and my fridge, which comes with the truck. And I basically have everything that I need here. My microwave, my fridge, my entertainment. And it's very, very cozy in my bunk. I very much enjoy it. It's my home away from home. Well, it's my home away from home, but it is my home, if you know what I mean. I guess my home, my regular home is, yeah, it's my truck. until I manage to get other accommodations when I eventually get married. It will be my home away from home, but I don't know how long I'm going to be on the highway for after I get married, because I would probably want to see my girl every day. But actually what it all comes down to, it really does depend on what the Lord wants me to do, because I do have a ministry out here, and if he wants me to stay on the highway, I know she will understand. She's very supportive. Wendy's a very supportive woman. I know she'll understand if that's the conclusion or the decision that I come up, decision that I make. Yeah. I was doing a little bit of communicating with the old internet, and looks like there's a really serious winter storm warning that is going to hit the Kootenai area, Shuswap. It's going to hit tonight or later today, and it's supposed to go all the way until Tuesday or Wednesday or something. It's going to be ugly, so I may end up running into some serious weather. Yeah. So once I get loaded up today, I'm going to go as far as I can. Maybe I can get as far as Revelstoke. That's what I'm going to hope for, but it all depends what the Coquihalla looks like too. If that's really bad, I'll end up going through the, may end up having to go through the may end up having to go through the canyon, because I think that looks really bad up there too right now. It's just going to be, the next 2 days are going to be really challenging. I just got a feeling. Can't stand filling up at this place. There's no satellite, so you can only fill up one. Unless I want to move forward and turn around and come back over here and waste some more of my time. I don't know what it is. We always end up having to fill up at the worst places. It's always like that. I don't know why. Always the worst places to fill up. Tell me you're going straight, but you're going to stop, of course. And it's almost impossible to try to get out of here too, this place. It's going to be a real challenge to get out of here, because there's no light here. Unless I get really lucky and get a break here. You got traffic coming this way, you got traffic coming this way. It's really hard to get through here. Sometimes they just have to just stick your nose out and block the traffic. We're probably gonna have to do that, because this time of the year everyone's doing their shopping for the holidays, and it's just a constant flow of traffic coming that way. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm just gonna block the traffic. There's nothing else I can do. Yep. Oh, look at this. I might get a break right here. Oh, come on. Are you kidding me? What an ignoramus. Unreal. You can see that I'm trying to pull out. This is what we got to deal with every day. People just don't care how hard it is to drive these trucks and maneuver them. Wow. Yeah, you need patience with this job too. forgot to mention that part. Oh, great! Now I'm on the crosswalk. Oh yeah. Sorry. Oh, they're going that way. I'm going. I don't care. I'll block all the traffic here. Not much you can do. I'm not filling up there ever again. That's the last time. That won't happen again. I was able to put in 112 liters, that's it. That should be more than enough to get me to Kamloops with what I have here. I have a half a tank already, but I also have a really heavy load. So, and that my needle didn't even move because it hasn't registered it yet, because as soon as I start driving, it'll start realizing what's in the other tank, and I'll get a more accurate reading. I wonder what the highway looks like.
A little bit of snow on the roads, remaining parts, a little bit of slush, a little bit of compact. Not too bad going up to the Sunday summit. Once you get over the summit, it was compact, slushy into Princeton. Basically clear all the way through Soyuz. A little bit of compact, not too much at all through the Bridesville area.
That's not helping me.
What's that? The E-Hold Summit has some compact slush.
Who cares? We're not nowhere near that, pal. Was not bad driving coming down the Coke. And look how fast the weather changes. That storm is on its way now, it's here. Because I went in to just grab myself a hamburger and I come out and it's snowing, and it wasn't snowing when I went inside. Yeah. It's gonna get ugly, and I'm gonna go as far as I can. And I'm hoping to get to Revelstoke. That's what I'm hoping for. And then reconvene in the morning. I don't have you know what, if I have to chain up, I have to chain up, but I'd rather do it during the day when I can see what I'm doing. I'd rather do it when I can see what I'm doing. But it's starting to snow pretty good here, so I'm guessing the storm is on its way, and it's just making its way here now. You can only imagine what this place is going to look like in about 2 hours. 2-3 hours, it's going to be ugly. Well, looks like Golden got hit with some snow last night. Yeah. Yeah, it's that time of the year for sure. This is never a good spot in here to be dealing with slippery roads, but they maintain it pretty good here usually. And usually this road is sanded pretty good. They do a really, really good job. Golden and Rogers Pass area, they do a really good job. They take good care of it. However, going from Revelstoke into Sicamous, that's a little different story. I don't know. Maybe they have a different highway department working on that, but usually it's pretty bad through there. When it snows, it gets very icy and very ugly. But looking at the camps before I left, it looks like it's going to be nice driving all the way so far to Calgary. I don't know how long that's going to last. I think I'm starting to see some snow here come down. Or maybe it's just my imagination. No, it is flurrying. Got some flurries. Yeah, I don't know how long that's going to last. Anyway, we're going to find out. If I can get to Calgary, drop this load and grab onto the other one and get as far back as Golden, if that's as far as I can get, because of the weather, I will be happy. That will make me happy. But I'm going to try to see if I can get as far back as Sicamous, Craigellachie, or maybe even Kamloops. That would be ideal, but I don't know if I'll have enough hours to do that. Oh, they got a lot of snow out here in Field. All the trees are covered. Sure looks nice. I wonder what it's like to live in that little village like that over there, and have Christmas looking out your window with a fireplace, and you see all this white snow on all the trees. That must be really stunningly beautiful. It's a nice. I know how much I enjoy waking up when I'm in the park. When I stop for the night in one of the parks, and it's you wake up to everything white and it's very beautiful. I can only imagine living out here, but that would be like. I think that would be pretty amazing. Pretty darn amazing. I wonder what the parks look like. Anyone can tell me what the park looks like, Banff National Park, how the roads are looking. I guess nobody wants to talk today. I guess that's good. If you don't hear a whole lot of talking, usually that's a good thing. That usually means everything's fine. And this is one area here that we normally chain up. And, yeah. Chain up lights aren't on for Field Hill, which is another good thing. This was one of the roads I was concerned about when they were mentioning all that snow that was going to hit. So this is the last real hurdle to get over, so I'm quite happy right now. Even if it was snowing like crazy from Lake Louise all the way to Calgary, at least you don't have to chain up anywhere. Well, Scott Lake Hill, you may have to if it's really, really bad, but most of the time, it's pretty good. You gotta like that, how that turned out. Drop the trailer here, 2 blocks over, pick up the other loaded one, and then I can leave. I like that. No sitting around, no waiting around. A lot different when you're in California. There's a lot of waiting. Too much waiting. But I guess if you don't mind being out there in that kind of weather, and it's okay. Yeah. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on, Gutless. My new nickname for my truck, Gutless. This is another ridiculously heavy load. 55,577. 55,000 pounds. That's totally maxing me out. At least I hope it's not overweight. I'm gonna have to go weigh it because my axles are not where they should be. But if they're not, and I might just, I have to go weigh it now. This is wasting more of my time, it doesn't matter anymore now. It doesn't matter anymore. I have to go weigh this thing for sure and see what how much this is. I bet you anything it's like, I can only imagine how much this thing weighs. It's gonna be close. Hold it together, buddy. Hold it together. Don't stop there. Oh. Wow. That was close. That guy would have ended up going sideways on the road. I would have ran right into him. Holy smoke. Yeah, it's a little chilly out there, but everything looks good on the truck and trailer. Oh. That's twice now this Revelstoke A&W doesn't have any orange juice. Maybe it's because of the road conditions that they're not getting their supplies. I don't know. Dear Lord, I just thank you for who you are. Thank you for blessing me and watching over me. I ask that you give me safe passage back to Delta today. Would you please protect the other motorists on the road, the animals on the road, my dear family and my dear friends. Would you watch over them and bless them? In Yeshua's name, amen. Amen. Doesn't quite feel right if you don't start with a prayer. So I am just going to make sure my wheels are turning. And I'm going to see if it goes into crawl mode, which means without any acceleration that it's pulling the trailer, and that way I know my brakes aren't grabbing. You never know, sitting overnight it could just freeze up. That side looks good. Can't see that side yet. Here we go again where it doesn't want to go into gear. This is the typical Freightliner. Terrible transmission. Just doesn't like to go into gear half the time when it's cold. Well, you have to warm it up. Well, how do you warm up a vehicle? By driving it. How do you warm it up? You can't drive it. You can't warm up a transmission unless it's rolling, moving. I can't tell. I can't see nothing over there. Obviously it's moving because I'm crawling along okay. I think all the wheels are turning. I'll be able to tell when I turn this corner up here. Anyway, nice and early. 6:30 is the way I like it. The sooner I get back to my girl, the better. Well, right here, this is a little town that I would love to live in. I really, really like Salmon Arm. Just look at that view in front of us here, of those beautiful mountains. You've got the Shuswap Lake down here, so there's a bit of beachfront down along the little downtown core there. It's a very, very romantic, cozy little town, sleepy little town in the downtown core area. Yet, you have all the amenities, everything you need. You've got a Walmart superstore down on the other end. You've got shoppers shopping up here. You've got auto malls. You've got everything you need in this town. But they've still preserved the downtown core that looks like a romantic little town. And that's what I really like about Salmon Arm. And I really hope one day to retire here. I really like it here. You can get access pretty well to anywhere here. You can get into the Okanagan from here. Vernon, Kelowna, Armstrong, you can get there from here. You can also go east and west, obviously, on the Trans-Canada Highway. It's a really nice little location. Look how beautiful this is here with everything white. They really got a lot of snow in the last 24 hours. They're going to get a nice white Christmas. And it's very cozy, very romantic little town. I would love to live here. Maybe one day I can talk my girl into coming here. It's very, very nice. I've always had a really nice feeling about coming to this town. Every time I come here, it's just a nice feeling. Yeah, it is nice. Very, very nice. Look at that, how beautiful that looks with all the white all over everything. It's very, very nice. One of my favorite places to drive through, Fraser Canyon. Well, we're not quite at the Fraser Canyon yet, but this is more of the Savona area, and it's really, really beautiful through here. This is the #1 highway. It actually goes from Kamloops all the way through Cache Creek, through Yale, Boston Bar, Yale, and into Hope. It's the old route that the truckers used to take before they built the Coquihalla Highway and opened that up in 1986. And there was a lot of accidents on this road because a lot of it is two-laner, especially when you're going through the Fraser Canyon. It's very, very tight to some of the snake turns that are in the canyon there. It can be very, very dangerous. So since they put up the Coquihalla Highway, there's a lot less traffic on this road. But right now, because the Coquihalla Highway from Merritt to Hope is really, really bad and really, really compact and icy. A lot of the truck drivers, including myself, are making a decision. Hey, you know what? Maybe this is a really nice time to take the canyon. It is a lovely, beautiful day today. Stunningly gorgeous. Nice break in the gloom. If I can just get this garbage off my windshield. These wipers are terrible. I'm going to get them to change these things. I had to stop last night because I couldn't see where I was going because of these things. So, yeah, so anyhow, and of course when you use the washers, wash your fluid on here, it sprays all over your passenger mirror, so you can't see nothing there. Total joke. Anyway, Yeah, it's a lovely drive through here. It's a beautiful day, blue sky, a little bit of cloud. I am a happy camper. This will be a wonderful way to end my cycle. Short cycle, but it feels like it's been 5 days. It's been such lousy weather, but I'm happy. I'm happy to be making my way home. Well, just when you think the canyon is clear, looks like we got a car up here that went right into a ditch. Are we at a complete standstill here? What's going on here? Are they going to let us go around? They must have taken the guy away. The ambulance is leaving. They don't have alternating traffic or nothing. Well, it's still pretty icy here. We've got to learn to drive safe. It's sad when you see stuff like that. Don't like to see that at all. I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to ending this day. It's been very, very stressful, dragging heavy loads and dealing with this weather and dealing with people driving too slow, being almost run off the road by logging trucks and watching people wipe out in front of me. It's just been a very, very stressful few days, and well, a week and a half. A week and a half has been like that. The most strenuous thing for me is probably just the slow grind of dragging my butt up hills all the time. It's just, it drains a lot out of you, and constantly worrying. Twice I almost lost my truck into a barrier because it was too slippery, but I was very fortunate and knew what to do at the time. If anybody was coming the other way, I mean, who knows what would have happened with that. It's just so dangerous out here, especially this time of the year. Yeah, I just want to get this truck back to the yard and spend a little bit of time with my girl Wendy and her two girls, Amber and Ashley, which will be nice. And then I get to spend some time with my two kids, Jeremiah and Carrie. I believe it's on the 23rd. We're going to go have dinner together. Well, I'm going to go buy the dinner, and I get to see my two grandchildren, Autumn and Abigail. It would just be nice. I'm just looking forward to some time off. I got 4.5 days off, and I'm going to milk it for all it's worth. You better believe it. Down to the final home stretch. Wow. I'm so mentally drained and so mentally exhausted. Can't tell you how happy I am to get to this, finally get to this yard and wrap this week up. I'll tell you something. I don't think I'll be out here again next winter, because when I get married, I'm not going to put my girl through the worry that goes along with driving this highway. These highways in the wintertime. People driving down the middle of the road in your lane all the time. Vehicles cutting you off. I think I'm just gonna get a job in the city. If I was a single guy, I wouldn't care. I'd get on the main road and I'd go drive in the US, but I don't want to be that far away from my girl either. If we had 4-lane highways all the way across Canada, I think it'd be totally different. But because we have to deal with 2 lanes through most of the province, and every time you come around a corner, someone's in your lane, you have to drive in the fog lane. It's just so draining. It really is. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But I can tell you this, I am very much seriously thinking about wrapping it up after I get married. Find something in the city. Yep. We'll see. We'll see what happens.